Verbos, please lead us in the pledge. Sarah, will you call the rolls, please?
Yes. Mr. Talani is excused. Mr. Lee is excused. Ms. Lee? Here. Ms. Carr?
Here.
Mr. Verbos?
Here.
Mr. Becker?
Here.
Mr. Keller?
Here.
Ms. Steele?
Here.
And President Burns is excused.
All right. Proper notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the open meeting laws of the state of Wisconsin. Are there any modifications to the agenda?
There are no modifications.
All right. Then at this time, I will entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as printed.
Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Any questions? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that passes and the agenda has been adopted. Now we'll turn it over to the superintendent's report, Dr. Robbins.
So good evening. I'll be brief tonight. DPI has released estimates for general school aids for the 26-27 fiscal year, indicating that 59.9% of Wisconsin public school districts, 252 districts in all, will see a decrease in aid compared to the 25-26 school year. In contrast, 38%, 160 districts, are expected to receive more aid, while 9 districts will have no change. Notably, 92 districts are projected to experience a maximum allowable decrease at 15%. The general school aid appropriation remains unchanged at $5.58 billion for the third consecutive year, with distribution occurring through Wisconsin Equalization Aid formula. Our summer learning camps. Summer learning camp continues to provide students with engaging opportunities to strengthen academic skills. Through hands-on activities and enrichment experiences, students are preparing for a successful start to the upcoming school year. We tried a couple of different things this summer in making sure that we had a good jump start into the school year, and we found that really increasing our course offerings, not only for high school, but also for our middle school and our elementary school students, is kind of paying off a little bit. And we think it's more of an interesting product for our students to participate in. We try to go away from the camp feeling to more instructional focus and preparing our kids for the next level. So shout out to our teachers as well as our students and our administrators who have pitched in to support the effort. Other updates, just wanted to highlight a couple of things that are coming up. Our summer youth theater productions, we have Suzical Kids, Director Ashley Patton, and the performances will be this coming weekend, July 17th through 19th at Dockey High School. Anything Goes Youth Edition will be in August as well. July 30th through August 2nd, Jordan Pollard will be the director, and that production will occur at Central High School. Also wanted to encourage any of our students, specifically our rising juniors and seniors, to take advantage of the ACT Prep summer workshops that are occurring beginning July 20th through 23rd, and then there's another round of 27th through the 30th. This is an opportunity for our students to take advantage and receive extra prep help in preparation for their ACTs coming up, and also our seniors who've already taken ACT as juniors, possibly taking and getting a higher score. So we want to make sure that we are preparing our kids, and this is just a start. We're planning for ongoing sessions throughout the school year, depending on interest, but we're hoping that our students are taking advantage of it. It's free of charge. Okay. And that concludes the report for tonight.
All right, that will then take us into the public comments portion of the meeting. If anyone would like to address the board, you may sign up in the back of the room, or in Zoom, there is a link in the chat that you can sign up for. Please introduce yourself with your name and address. You have 3 minutes to provide comments. The board cannot discuss, debate, or act upon any item addressed during the public comments portion of the school board meeting. Follow-up may be provided by the superintendent at the next regular board meeting. All right, so to start out with, I have Katie Gast, or Gast. Katie Gast. And Ms. Goss, if you could just make sure that the green light's on. There you go.
Good evening, members of the school board. My name is Katie Gast. My address is 2031 South 86th Street. I'm a resident that lives near Franklin Elementary School and West Dallas Central High School. I'm here tonight to express my concerns regarding a proposed warming shelter at Mount Hope Lutheran Church. While I recognize that people experiencing homelessness deserve compassion and access to services, I believe the location of this proposed shelter raises legitimate concerns because it is directly adjacent to Franklin Elementary and within close proximity to Central High School. Parents and neighbors are concerned about the impact and increased activity in the area impact that increased activity in the area could have during student arrival, dismissal, and after-school programs. Our primary responsibility is to ensure that our children have a safe environment in which to learn and travel to and from school. I respectfully ask the school board to engage with the city and Mount Hope Lutheran Church to seek complete information about the proposal and to advocate for the safety of the Franklin and Central students before any decisions are finalized. I also ask that parents be kept informed of any discussions or positions that the district takes regarding this proposal. This is not about a lack of compassion for those in need. It's about ensuring that any warming shelter is located where it can be best serve its guests while also protecting the safety and well-being of our students and community. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Next, I have Cindy Radke.
Hi, my name is Cindy Radke. I live at 8519 West Beecher Street. I hear am also about the warming center that they're proposing at Mount Hope. I'm here to address you because I feel you are the advocates for our kids. You are their voices. I feel that they've had a meeting June 23rd. I went to it. There were people for it that belong to the church in that, and there were a lot of people against it live in the neighborhood. They're proposing the hours of 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I feel it's totally the wrong location. They're put in a residential neighborhood with no means for them to get help. They have no wraparound services for them. They have no transportation once they leave there. They have no other place to go. They've suggested that they might go to the library. That's over a mile away. They do not open till 9. They have no public bathrooms in that area, and they have no morning food programs. They are going to provide them a meal at night. They already have problems at the Historical Society. The homeless are living there now, and that might not be the right word, but that's how I look at it, that I see it when I see it. And there's already human feces there. There's already drug paraphernalia there. The school, Franklin right there, they have to lock their dumpsters. They also have to check the bushes for drug paraphernalia. I'm concerned that the children and myself, who is 75, that this is not the right location. I really think you have to consider they need to be in a commercial area. Thank you. I'm very nervous.
Thank you. You can say that much.
Ladies that just spoke, I just wanted to let you know that we have been in contact with the city concerning and have addressed some of the things that you've already brought out. So we have been in full communication with them.
Okay, thank you.
All right, next I have Julie Elgetti.
Hi, my name is Julie. I'm at 224 South 74th Street, Milwaukee, 53214. Good evening. I'm here tonight to speak about the student safety, suicide prevention, and accountability. First, I would like to know what the specific steps are and protocols the district plans to implement to better identify and support students who may be struggling with mental health challenges, suicidal thoughts, or emotional crisis. The students need to know that when they reach out for help, that a clear system is in place to support them and their families. I'm asking the board to be transparent about what changes will be made going forward. Will there be additional staff training, improved communication with families, stronger intervention procedures, increased mental health resources? Our community deserves to know what is being done to prevent future tragedies and ensure that no students fall through the cracks. I would also like to address the treatment that Zage's Aunt Marie got during the time when Zage went missing, and classmates Morgan Algetti and Justin Love, who were trying to hang flyers around the school, which got torn down by administrators. Regardless of the policies or the procedures, Anne Marie experienced an unimaginable crisis, needed support from the school community. I believe it would be appropriate for the district to acknowledge the pain and frustration they experienced and offer a sincere apology for the lack of support, communication, and assistance they received during this difficult time. An apology does not change the past, but it demonstrates compassion, accountability, and committed to do better in the future. Tonight, I am asking the board not only to discuss policies, but also to demonstrate empathy. Our students and families deserve a school system that listens, responds, and stands behind them during their most difficult times. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. I have Morgan Algetti.
Hi again. I am speaking on behalf of my daughter. Her name is Morgan Algetti. She resides at 224 South 74th Street, Milwaukee, 53214. I wasn't able to speak at the last board meeting, but today I have asked my mom to speak on behalf of me. I didn't know Zage very well, but I had a few interactions with him. I'm the type of person who helps people out every chance I get. So my friend and I decided to hang flyers around the inside and outside of the school in hopes of us being able to find Zage. But instead, we found those flyers in the garbage. And I am not happy about that. I'm so upset that I wasn't even offered to get to talk about the situation with the administrators. The detective that was on Zage's case was careless and didn't even know the number to the suicide hotline. I'm 16 and I know the 3 important numbers, 988. It's not hard. Please take care of the students. Have that going on conversation about depression, anxiety, panic attacks, and all of the above. Tell them they are not alone. The school needs to do better by the students. Thank you.
Thank you. And then I had, okay. It's immaculate. Jean, I'm gonna get this wrong, and actually, Engelmeyer. And I know I should have got that right. How do we say that?
Hi, I'm Jeannie Engelmeyer at 9820 West Montana Avenue, West Allis. And this is the first time I'm here, not for a trip, not taking students abroad. It's kind of different. But I want to say we had a wonderful New Zealand trip. It was fabulous. And something that I found while experiencing the New Zealand trip was the weight of Zage, because it had just happened. And it's time to echo what Anne Marie had said previously. I was away for that, but I heard about it and what Julie has been echoing. And I guess I want to add just even another perspective. I know as someone who struggled when I was 18, he's not even 18, and I'm lucky to be here today to be able to do all the wonderful things that I've been blessed and able to do in my lifetime. And I think that I know it's hard. I've been in the trenches for 30 years. I just retired. I know what's going on at Central, or at least as much as the teachers were privy to. And I know that it's hard. I can't say I've heard stories this year from some of my students that are just beyond heartbreaking. And with all that this district is striving to achieve, we can't go anywhere, no matter how high our test scores get, how many milestones like that we're able to achieve. We're not going to get anywhere. If these kids are masking what their histories are, if these kids aren't supported and aren't spoken to and aren't genuinely followed up with to what's happening in their lives. And we owe it to them because nobody can be educated without a honest, true connection made. And I just want to echo all the concerns that have been made. And I just want to say, please, please, whatever you need, I'm in the community, I'm willing to help. Whatever you need, we can't let this go on. This is not a one-off. This is something that it's like a tragedy of errors, the way it all came down from the school's role, which has been pointed out, to the police officers' roles that have been pointed out, West Milwaukee Police not being adequately able to do their job. I mean, just so many things that it shouldn't have ever happened. And it's just horrible all the way around. And there are too many other kids too close to this. And kids need to know that we as a district are there to stand up for them and be there with them, whatever we have to do for them. And that's all I want to share. But thank you.
Thank you. All right, I do not see anyone else listed at this time, so I am going to close public comments. I'll go over there on item 8.1 review of the board calendar. So today, July 13th, we get a regular school board meeting, and then July 27th, that's it, we have a regular school board meeting. We'll have a financial facility and efficiency and recreation, the services workshop. Have more the AFC pool and over the complex and find the finance coordination. And then now we move on to 8.2. Am I gone? Sorry about that. All right. So now we're gonna go over and do board reports. So 8.2, so 8.2.1, communications and engagement, Mr. Verbos.
Hi, yeah, we met on June 22nd. It was the first meeting with the new committee roster. We discussed first we covered the voice student advisory committee, and we had applications went out in May. Doc Key, Hale, and Central all had their 3 students chosen, but DLVA has not chosen or has not sent any delegates yet. They have a standing offer open for them to do so. We talked about school showcases, which will continue in the same format as previous years. And there'll be maybe some adjustments to get them to align with SAIL processes. Back to School Bash is on August 26th this year. It's from 5 to 7. The time is a half hour earlier than it had been in previous years due to it getting dark a little earlier. So they wanted to have it a little bit more daylight to work with. We are having a little bit of an issue. We have 17 community partners signed up, but we do not have confirmation on the partners that would be providing the backpacks for the backpack pickup thing. We're still following up on some of that stuff. And then we're ice cream and popsicles provided by West Dallas Police and Fire. And we're looking for community partners to see if there's any additional desserts to be donated. We briefly talked about whether or not we wanted to extend the length of Back to School Bash as well, depending on availability and if there's an issue where some families aren't able to get to it in time, especially if it's shifted earlier. All right, and then opening day, which is also on August 26th. The communications and engagement team will be supporting with along with teaching and learning. So yeah, that's essentially, we briefly discussed how we want some updates to the district app. It's a thing that we have, it's available, and it's not really, I feel like it's not, we felt like it wasn't really being utilized as much as it could be in terms of the amount of information that's provided on it. And so we're gonna kind of look into that moving forward. And that's about it.
All right, does anyone have any questions for Mr. Verbos or any suggestions for topics or issues for his committee? Nope. Thank you, Mr. Verbos. And then we'll have Mrs. Carr talk about the Employee Engagement and Culture Committee.
The Employee and Culture Committee was held on June 22nd and focused on 2 agenda items. The first item was about the vacancy rate. The committee reviewed the current district vacancy rate, which stands at 1.6%, excluding paraprofessionals and custodial staff. It was determined that future reporting will encompass all employee groups. Additionally, the committee will receive monthly reports detailing vacancy rates by building, as well as turnover rates categorized by school and employee groups. The second item that we discussed was suggestion box initiative. The committee discussed data collected from the staff suggestion boxes, which that is a communication tool established for staff to share feedback and concerns and suggestions with the administration. While current data indicated no specific reoccurring themes, the committee identified a need for improved tracking and monitoring of submissions. To address this, a more detailed response card will be developed to assist staff in clearly defining their issues and to facilitate directing the feedback to the appropriate department. This new response card will be made available in both hard copy and electronic formats. And so I wrote these notes. That was what was discussed at the meeting. And I do want to say, obviously, we all got our Friday updates, and we received a mock-up of what that card might look like. And so you can all take a look at that. The next time that we meet, we will definitely give feedback on that. If you have any feedback that you would like to share with us about what's on the card, I do want to say it was above and beyond my expectation. I think that they covered all the bases, and it is really detailed and really hones in on absolutely anything and everything a staff member might want to share with administration. So I'm looking forward to making that move forward. And that's my report.
All right, does anyone have any questions for Ms. Carr or any suggestions for her committee? All right. Then we will move on to 8.3, board member reports of community events. Does anyone have anything they'd like to share? Mr. Verbos.
I'd love to start out. You were present. We went to we did the Independence Day parade. It feels like it was forever ago at this rate because of how long the gap was, but it's always a great time. We were very lucky. We didn't get caught in the rain. The wind was picking up and it was looking a little bit bleak right as we were finishing the route, but it's always a great time. Great to see so many people in the community. The weather wasn't awful. It wasn't terribly hot, but it was warm. But yeah, it's always a great time.
Anyone else? All right. Well, I think I was also able to attend the 4th of July parade, which was, again, a great success. A huge shout out to the city of West Allis and also Shelley Strasser and her team over at the rec department. So, all right, then we will move to item 9, consent agenda. So this will include with 9.1 approval of minutes, 9.2 the employment summary, and 9.3 the supplemental contracts. Does anyone need anything separated out? All right, if not, then I would look for a motion to approve.
Move to approve 9.1, 9.2, and 9.3.
Second. Okay, we've got a first and a second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that passes. And now we'll move into our action items. So our first action item is 10.1, the 2026-2027 academic standards adoption. Ms. Barrage.
Good evening, everyone. I am here to bring forward our annual item of adopting the academic standards that we use to guide our instruction in West Allis West Milwaukee School District. So with this adoption of standards, there are two changes or additions to the standards that we have listed previously. The first is we are updating to include the personal finance standards. So those have been updated per our Department of Public Instruction. So it's time to now bring those fully into our curriculum and acknowledge and use that to guide those courses. And then secondly, we would like to also add the WIDA language standards. So as you know, we've had an increasing amount of multilingual students that have joined our district over the past 5 years. And with that, we've also added in some additional layers of support for those students, including additional courses at the high school level to support their language acquisition. And our multilingual specialists have also increased in their knowledge of how to use the WIDA standards, the language standards, to support students' growth in English. And so adding the WIDA standards to our academic standards is a natural next step for our programming and something that our multilingual specialists will be using to support our multilingual learners alongside their classroom teachers. So those are the two changes. Otherwise, everything else are the standards that we have used previously.
Any questions from the board? All right, if there's no questions, then I would look for a motion.
Move to approve. Sorry. Move to approve academic standards or 2026-27 academic standards adoption.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any additional questions? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that passes.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Raj. And then we have item 10.2, the 2026-2027 Rights and Responsibilities Handbook for Students and Parents, Mr. Norris and Ms. Han.
All right, good evening. So I know this was already shared with you all through the executive summary, so I will not go through line by line because there were quite a few changes that we did make for this school year. I did want to highlight just some of the overarching pieces or some of the bigger changes that we made. So when we think about the overarching changes, we did update the section headings throughout the handbook so that when possible, they aligned with board policies or our administrative guidelines. We also just updated any relevant contact information, emails, phone numbers, staff names, photos, things like that. And then lastly, we did remove hyperlinks just to improve accessibility, accuracy, and to ensure long-term usability. We've just found over the years that hyperlinks tend to expire. And unless someone notices it, it can go unnoticed for quite some time. There are many new sections for this year. The one I did want to highlight is bag procedures. We added that in based off of the previous board meeting. And then we also added personal communication devices for board policy 5136. And then as far as sections that were in the 25-26 handbook that are also in 26-27 but have updated language, there were a couple that I just wanted to point out. The first was lockers, just reinforcing that all secondary students will have lockers and that athletic and music equipment will have a designated location at each school to ensure that students have a safe place to put all of their belongings throughout the school day. Also, the student code of conduct was updated for level 3 and level 4 language to include that there would be a behavior contract and may include a recommendation for school-based suspension for up to 3 days or 5 days, depending on which level. The student technology and acceptable use was updated with to incorporate personal communication devices, and it also was we drafted it so it's more succinct. Previously, it was about 9 pages long, and so we got it down to about 2 pages now. And then lastly, the personal communication devices expectations. This was formerly the cell phone expectations, and now we just put PCD where cell phone used to be because it'll be inclusive of all the items listed in that policy. And that is everything I wanted to highlight.
I just wanted to ask you, could you clear up, I know Mr. Becker sent a message to us about the links that may have had former employees on there. That's being updated. Want to talk about
There,
that?
so those links were part of the board policies, so those are being updated. Yes. Yes.
And just so the board knows, Mr. Becker had asked about, there was a former employee listed in the directory. So we're just making sure that we have all the correct people in there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what he's
So,
referring
so
to.
those personal names have been removed from policy per se, but they're always in rules. That's where we have to go back and start tracking down links and stuff. So that's where that comes from. We're getting with Neola to get those updated. We thought we had rectified all of that kind of stuff just in case, but we
Mhm.
thank you for bringing that to our attention. But that won't affect anything dealing with tonight.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Hahn? If not, then I would look for a motion, please.
I had one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Mr. Becker, go ahead.
Thanks very much. First, comments on the form and changes to the structure. I think it's really good overall, from links to every section and then links back to the table of contents. Really, I think it's a more user-friendly document. So hats off there. I feel like I asked a similar question last year. It's on bullying and harassment. Like, we have tiers 2 through 4 for elementary, but it doesn't go all the way up to 5, compared to the secondary where it does go all the way up to tier 5, which is expulsion. And I can't recall why it's different from one to the next.
Well, I can tell you, we don't usually have a practice of expelling our babies, our elementary kids. And so the reason that's probably not in there is because it's something that we would try to work around and find an alternative for that particular type of decision. That's generally why it's not in there, because we try to find a different alternative for those kids.
Okay.
Any additional questions? Then again, I would look for a motion, please.
Move to approve the 2026-2027 Rights and Responsibility Handbook for students and parents.
Second. Second. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any additional questions? No, seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hahn. That brings us to the end of the meeting. If there's no further business and there's no objection, the meeting will be adjourned. All right, seeing no objections and there being no further business or objection, the meeting is adjourned.